Hello, and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup podcast, episode 168. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Tired,
Yeah,
exhausted.
me
We
too.
both are.
Yeah. Came
Um,
back from camping. Sorry, guys. This is a low energy pod.
it's all good.
We'll do our best.
We actually have some good content this week, though, so that'll be fun.
For
As
sure.
you've seen by the title, John now hates Magic but loves
Hate it.
Pokemon.
I'm
Um,
all in
so we're going to
Pokemon.
talk about how much John hates Magic and how much John loves Pokemon. So we played a bunch of Arena. Tarkir is
Yep.
out officially now, so we drafted it a bunch. And then so we're going to take a look at the collector and play boxes because they did a thing. And then John started playing Pokemon Violet and
I
is
did.
enjoying it.
It
And
is fun.
I'm playing the Scarlet DLC, which is super fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that because I don't know what the DLC means. Like,
Yep.
you have to
We'll
explain
get
that.
there. We'll get there.
Yep.
But yeah, let's start with what we played. Sealed sucks.
Yeah, I didn't have fun with Sealed. Although it ended up being one of my better plays. Like, I got the most wins out of it, or one of the most wins out of it. Um, I don't remember actually where I landed on that. I think I ended with 3 wins or something of that nature. I did the red, black, white Mardu one specifically because I wanted the red and black cards since that is meta right now, and Pioneer has been that red black deck.
Yeah.
So I assume that would be beneficial cards. I know there's a bunch of red dragons that are really good that I wanted. Black, I wasn't actually too familiar with what was in black. Ended up getting some good cards, so that's kind of where the goal was on that one. And I had that token anyway, so I just spent it and played that, and it was fine. Then I went into draft.
Before you move from
Yeah, I was
Sealed,
gonna say, did you do sealed?
I did
Yeah.
not do Sealed, but from what I've heard and from what I understand, because I don't know, I prefer draft. And from what I've understood, and we've talked about the effects of unlimited for the play booster as opposed to draft.
Mhm.
And I think Sealed was more negatively impacted than draft, because especially in sets like Tarkir, which turns out to be a Prince set, which is more of like a bombs matter set. So
Mm.
in Sealed, you can either be screwed or blessed very well.
What did you call that?
A
Print
prince?
set?
Prince.
Prince. Oh, Prince set. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. It definitely makes sense. Is your calculus on that taking into account the predetermined like theme packs that came in
Yeah.
sealed, Mardu packs or whatever. I don't know what they're calling them, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Well,
basically, it's just
what's up?
the way draft is working right now is you can even go 4 colors and it's just pick the best stuff. But you just have to prioritize the mana fixing. So take the dual lands as a higher priority than you normally would.
Mm.
And then just pick all the good dragons.
Grab all the dragons
And all the lands. Not the fetch lands, obviously, because you can't rely on those being what are they called? Not showcase. Special guest. Because they're special guests, you can't rely on them. They're too many or too few. But the even the common lands are.
Oh, it's the shock lands that are right. The shock
No,
lands are in this. No.
they come in tapped and you gain 1 life.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. What do they call those ones?
But because
Explain
it's a slower set, you have time for it. And it just helps with the fixing. But yeah, let's get into draft. You first drafted red, green, blue.
Dropped blue. I did 1 game, lost, dropped blue from it, so then it was just red, green, and I got 4 wins. That was actually my best play. I was very happy after the first draft.
That's a huge step. You edited your deck mid-draft. That is a stepping stone for sure.
Yeah, it was the blue was just kind of useless in the way it was working.
Yeah.
And then I tried a bunch of other things. So red, blue, green, black, red, blue, white, and they all sucked. I failed. Yeah. That's basically what happened. And I was like, I hate draft. Part of it's, I'm sure, just I haven't drafted in God knows how long, other than Winston, I guess. And then part of it is I think this set's too complex for someone coming back and trying to learn again. Like if I had been drafting for the past few months or whatever, I feel like I'd have done much better. But because I went in blind. I did not look at any online draft guides. I didn't do
Hmm.
anything. I went in blind. I knew of some of the cards, but I wasn't like really well versed in it in a drafting mentality sense.
Sure.
So that was part of the mistake. And then I guess the cockiness of that first draft made me just keep trying and keep failing.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing was the timing. The first draft was literally on release day, and I think it came out at like 11 a.m. Eastern time
Hmm.
or something. And so I was playing during the workday. No one was on. Took a while to queue up. I got to play against a bunch of derps that didn't know what they were doing either. The next day or the evening, whenever these other ones started, it was brutal. Like you could tell the best drafters were out there because some of the decks I played against, I was like, "Holy shit, how did you do that?"
Yep.
Like crazy combos, and I was like, I didn't even know, like I didn't even see that possibility, and they're coming in with like somewhat consistent versions of it. What was that one, that white card that's an awesome enchantment? I did pull it by the way in physical format, which I'm happy about, where it's like anything under power 2, if it dies, it comes back automatically with double strike.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the hell? That is a ridiculously powerful card. I think it costs 5, so it's not like the cheapest to get out. But I ran into that in draft, and the guy had multiple multicolor, kind of like you're saying, get the bombs,
Hmm.
multiple multicolor 2 power only, like dragons and like, hero types and whatever. And I killed him. I managed to manage the board, right? I killed him off, and they all came back with double strike, and then I did it again. They came back again. I'm like, oh yeah, I just lose. Like, there's no way around this. He's basically just sitting there like toying with me. He could have killed me much easier than he did. It was wild. That card is insane.
Yeah, it's Smile at Death.
That's
It's
it.
a
Yeah.
3 and 2 white. At the beginning of your upkeep, return up to 2 target creatures cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put +1/+1 counters on each of those.
So it's only two of them. Only two
And
with
not
plus
double
one.
strike, it's +1 counters. Yeah.
Oh, he must have had something else that gave everything
Yeah.
double strike because
Yeah.
he ended up he had everything with double strike too. It was nuts. Like I was like, what is even happening? I am getting my butt kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
I had a
Uh,
similar experience
yeah, go ahead.
in that I also drafted, not during the workday, I had to wait till after work, but drafted a Asban Endure deck and went 6 and 3, which I felt pretty good about. Had a close, almost had game 7, almost went 7 and 2, but just barely lost, which was sad, but fine because you basically make your gems back in that, and I had a draft token from the previous mastery pass that I hadn't used, so I used that, and then it was either the next day or 2 days after I drafted another Asbanander because I had a pack one pick one. I forget what it was, but it was worth picking. And then uh,
What's the Asban? What's the colors?
black, white, green. No
Okay.
red, John. I have not drafted
I'm
red yet.
shocked about that. Yeah, I'm shocked about that.
Um,
I did lean towards red a lot because I know the red dragon has some pioneer meta, and so I was trying to get the
yeah,
cards. Like
yeah.
I was
No,
a
that makes
little bit
sense.
drafting for my collection more than the actual draft, so
Oh,
that might have been
same,
part of the
same. And
problem.
that's no, and that's what you do. That's what you do.
Yeah,
Um, the second deck was arguably better. Like I think I just had more consistency. I knew what the cards did. I favored certain cards. That 1/2 fly, that if something has a counter on it, because both of them were focused around +1 counters on it. Because the endure, you can either make a spirit or give it +1
yeah,
counters. And so I had like 4 or 5 of those flies because that I had one fly in my first deck and it won me multiple games in that first run because
what's
someone just
the
didn't have reach and it was just coming in each turn. And then when
yeah?
it attacks, if you have counters on it, if you have counters on any creature you control, it deals 1 damage to the opponent. Kind of like the what is it? There's a lizard in Bloomborough. It's a 1/3 when you attack.
The ebb and fly? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
No, ebb and
it's
fly, tap,
black.
intercept. It's no. This is
It's a black Delta Bloodflies. One in a
okay.
black flying creature insect. Whenever this creature attacks, if you control a creature with a counter on it, any counter, each opponent loses 1 life.
God, I hate TCG Player. I'm trying to search. I'm in Tarkir. I type in the search for the name, and it sets me back to the full thing, and it doesn't find it. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, I'm looking on
All right,
Scryfall.
go ahead.
Um, But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. Also, the other card that stood out to me was the Feral Death Gorger. These are both commons. Um, it's that Omen, new sorcery Omen thing, where it gives put +1/+1 counter on target creature and draw a card for 1 and a black, and then it goes back into your deck. And then when you play it as a creature, it's flying Death Touch 3/5. When this creature enters, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. With all the graveyard effects, that actually did come in handy a couple times. Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying it overall. I think I'm gonna wait for a quick draft though.
Yeah, I'm done.
Don't want to
I
draft
did
10,000
4 draft
gold.
tokens. I spent 4. I have 3 left. I'm gonna save them for some other set because this set annoyed me drafting. I may do it again later, but probably not. Um, I did after this say, okay, I need to draft more in general just to
Mm-hmm.
understand drafting. So I played Karloff because that was
Yeah,
up, and it was relatively cheap, like you said. The
yeah,
coins made sense, so I did it. And I did okay with that. I don't remember what my record was on that, but I was like, oh yeah, this is way easier than where everyone's like hardcore
yeah,
drafting drafters on day one sort of thing.
yeah.
It was fun. I was like, okay, this yeah, fun drafting. And I did red white, which I didn't know that, but I was already a couple games in when I messaged you. I was like, oh, this is much easier. And then you're like, yeah, it's basically anything with white wins.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, cool. I got
yeah,
lucky. I
yeah,
chose the right color.
yeah, yeah. White and a
So
thing.
I didn't get to 6. I think I got to like 5 on that.
That's not bad.
4 or 5, something like that. Whatever. For
Yeah,
me, if I get like middle of the ladder, I'm like, yeah, I did it. You know,
yeah.
like I know I'm not going to make it to the end in most cases because that's just like I'm not that good.
No, and I don't get there very often either. But yeah, no, and I do notice that like there's definitely because there are multiple drafts offered at once on Arena. I noticed that the quick draft, if there's a new set out, the serious drafters are doing the new set.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
quick draft is a little,
That
uh,
became very clear day 2
yeah, yeah,
when I got my ass. Like some of those decks, I can't even. I was blown away at how efficiently I was utterly annihilated. I was like, holy shit.
yeah,
So I know it's a slower set, but it sure did not feel like it was some of those things I ran up against.
no,
Now, do they do elo matching at all for that? I mean, I know they do
yes,
the rank thing, but I more than once was up against a gold while I was in bronze.
right. So that is the other aspect of it. When there are less people drafting it, it will broaden who it matches you with to find you a game quicker.
Why would there be less people drafting on day 1? There's so many people drafting, I would assume.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were referring to the Markov quick.
Mm-mm. Well, maybe that was the one that it was
I'm
the
pretty
bronze
sure
and
that
gold.
was
That was the one I
when,
meant.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
which in quick draft during a new set release, it is lower populated.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So
Yeah,
that's probably all it was.
I might try it one more time. I
And
don't
it
know.
also has the weight of their current record in it as well.
Well,
So it
I guess
probably
watch
won't
the
match
silver.
you against it game one, but game 2 or 3, once you're 0-1 or 1-0, it can swing using that as weight to see who to match you up with.
Yeah. So I guess I did make it to silver, which is more than I expected.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It was probably Karloff that got me there, but hey,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I also don't think you can lose progress in bronze. So it's just the amount of wins to get to silver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm like at the bottom of where you can actually be. Whatever, man. I got there.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, that's funny.
Uh, but yeah, let's see here. Um,
I'm more interested in just the fact that I get awards for being at silver.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll get season rewards now for both constructed and limited, which is
Did you
nice.
get to play any constructed?
Only a little bit just to get quests done. I haven't built a new deck yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm intrigued. I sent you a handful of decks
Yeah.
that are theoretically Pioneer meta, post Tarkov or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that was like a Red Go Burr Dragons. I saw
Is
another
it
one
post
that was
Tarkir? not Tarkov.
Yeah, 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 post Tarkir.
Yeah,
That's
you said
correct.
post Tarkov.
No, I said Tarkir. Did I say Tarkov?
You
Anyways,
said
whatever.
Tarkov. It's on. It's
Uh,
recorded.
we'll play that back. Play that back for us, people. Leave me a clip. See if I said what I thought I said, or
Hashtag
if Tommy's
Tarkov.
missed here. Yeah, I probably did. I know me well enough to know I use arbitrary names for all sorts of things like Markov. So that was one, the Red Dragon one, and then I sent you one that was more like, what was it? You said it was a John deck. What was that one? It's like blue, green something, blue green. I don't remember, but it seemed fun, and I want to try that one too. But yeah, mostly red. Still red go burr. That's where we are.
Yeah, blue green dragons.
Yeah, Saltai. That's
Yeah.
what it was. So, yeah, yeah, blue, green, black. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it has the Ugane. Anyway, so yeah, I want to build some of these newer decks just because they'll be fun to play, and the ladder's low for me. So I can play with junk on the low part of the ladder for sure until I have to convert to mice go burr to progress. But yeah, I'll enjoy that. I think I've been enjoying it, and that was one thing during the draft I kept coming back to. Like I'm playing these cards, getting these cards, doing this stuff, trying to build like little synergies and such, which I'm clearly very bad at in a draft environment. And I'm like, man, I just want to build a deck around this card. Like there's several times there was a card I was like, this is awesome, except it's not consistent, and it would be awesome if it was. So I do think I might get a little bit of a kind of inspiration for creativity with this set for constructed. So
Oh,
we'll
for
see.
sure.
This is the first time I've done the like draft to get cards and then go build decks and that whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
usually I bought back in the day when I was doing it a lot. I would just buy the 50 packs or whatever it is
Yeah, yeah,
because I was just doing constructed stuff
yeah.
really.
Then you would get a bunch of rares and wild
Yeah.
cards, and yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So I just build the thing and play with whatever.
yeah.
I think was that standard? Was I doing standard at that
Mm-hmm.
time? I don't remember what I
Yeah,
was
we were
playing.
doing standard,
Yeah.
and then you
So
ventured into historic for a bit and then stopped.
the brawl thing, right? The
Yeah.
commander light. Yeah, because they didn't have that much support for it. It was brand new at that time.
Yeah.
Now apparently it's a lot better. I've gone back to that a few times, but it's never really caught me. It's not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. And
Sad.
supposedly that new commander game's coming out eventually, whenever.
I mean, is it?
We'll see. We'll see.
Is it?
I bet you it does.
I don't know. There's so many aspects of that are high probability of failure. Aside from having to get another collection of the same cards somewhere else.
Yep.
4-player social. It's a social game.
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna do 4-player social on an online client that's actually functional and not just troll?
Maybe you can
Like,
have video camera in it.
I don't know. They already have that. Spell Table does this, and people get trolled on that constantly.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're not, and especially with the wishy-washiness of the ranks of the decks,
Yeah.
you're gonna have people spike constantly. Like I can't see that being successful.
Well, they
It's
have the
hard to
brackets
do
now. They
in
can,
person.
and it's on them, so they
Shut
can
up,
control
Tommy.
the
Shut
brackets.
up. Shut up, Tommy.
It'll all be fair. You won't even need
Yeah,
to roll 0 because you'll just
that's
queue into the
not how that
bracket.
works. It's not how that works at all.
No, I was just thinking, like, because
Yeah.
Nintendo on the Switch 2 for different games like Mario Party are coming out with specific Nintendo 2 camera so you can see your friend's reaction when you steal a star from them and stuff. So that's what it made me think of, which I
Yeah.
found hilarious. But yeah, there's a lot of questions about that game, but
Yeah,
only
I
time
don't
will
think
tell.
that's gonna work. Yeah, let's see if it even comes out before we worry about whether it's gonna work or not.
Yeah.
Um,
But
Mark
Tarkir
stuff.
boxes, collectors. So we had official release day, which means non-stores can list product, which is a big deal because that's usually the big down day.
Yeah.
Race to the bottom, which it was, and it bottomed at 300. And now we're back to 360 on
I
Sunday.
was gonna say 300 is such a high for a low price. It's
Yep.
so high. Usually it drops down to like 220.
Yep.
Oh, this
Not
product's
this
gonna be
time.
impossible to find.
Not this time. I did take a quick peek around, because usually the big online vendors off of TCG Player the weekend of also release more product.
Mhm.
And Stomping Grounds has theirs at 329 and Game Nerds has theirs at 350. So, still technically under TCG Player. There are places to find it under that 360 still, but for how long?
Not by the time you listen to this, probably.
No, I'm looking at it right now.
By the time you listen to
Oh,
this.
yeah. Yeah.
People don't listen as soon as we release it usually.
That's true. That's true. There are a couple. I see you. There are a couple. Um, but yeah, it is interesting looking because I look at Stomping Grounds collector boxes a couple times a week just to see what they got going on, if they have any sales or anything. And it's a pretty low supply on a lot of these sites for collector
Yeah,
boxes.
it's a super popular set with some really
Yeah.
good cards. Like theme on point,
Yeah.
uh like color combos for commander stuff on point. Bombs, Ugins, Elsbeth and Craterhoof on point. Fancy cards, fancy schmancy cards,
Mm-hmm.
super on point. People are in love. I don't
The
know if
Dragon
we want to talk
Scale
about this.
fetch
Oh my
lands.
god,
Yeah.
the foils and the like crazy cool arts that they have in this one, like really hit the right button for the people that love that stuff. You just look at the prices; they've skyrocketed. So when you have that many things that are just hitting correctly, yeah, this one's gone. You're not going to get this in the 200s, I doubt.
Yeah. And you
I
would
just don't
think,
think you'll ever see it there again.
because usually in a Magic set's life, the weekend after the official release is usually like pretty close to the bottom.
No, go
No?
look at Aether Drift and tell me that again.
Well, sure.
Typically, on a normal set,
What
depending
is it,
on
2
what's
weeks
happening,
after?
what is the low?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like right now, Aether Drift's as low as it's ever been.
Well, sure, but I think that's because just the set wasn't received well.
I mean, okay, but that happens a lot. That was true of what was it? OTJ was a little bit of a hype, but then had a low like months later.
Yeah.
I think Dustmorn did too on the collectors. Could be wrong on that one.
Uh,
Innistrad Remastered definitely did.
yeah.
So that's now you're talking about like 5 sets of the last 8 had the dip like a few months later because they just weren't that cool, and then the hype on the next thing came
True.
out.
And the next hype of the next thing is Final Fantasy.
Do you think this is actually a really good question? Do you think we'll actually get a dip below 300 in relation to Final Fantasy and people trying to move product off quickly?
Maybe.
It's like it's a cash flow possibility. I
Yeah.
don't see it as a demand possibility, but a cash flow possibility. That is actually a possibility.
I could see it.
If I don't know. That I do not know enough about how those mechanics work because pre-orders had to be done. But second wave play boxes or whatever with Final Fantasy products, are there gonna be second wave with Final Fantasy at all? I guess it has to because it's standard, right?
Play, yeah. Yes. Play they'll
I,
print
I don't
for
know.
years.
This is crazy. I have no idea how this is gonna go. I am very curious to see how Tarkir does in like 3 months over that whole period.
Yeah.
I bet we have some very weird market dynamics.
And one thing that's kind of freaking me out uh, is there's another YouTuber, a non TCG. He's a store owner and covers different things from the distributor level that he learns. And one of the things he was talking about is because he went super hard on Tarkir and he went super hard on Final Fantasy. And he said he's getting almost twice as much Final Fantasy as he got Tarkir.
They overprinted. I bet they did. It's Final Fantasy.
I bet you they did
They had to have.
with Lord of the Rings and stuff. That's why I'm staying far away
Well,
right
I don't
now.
think they will crash though. I think the
No,
demand is
no.
there to meet it, but
To keep it at 600 though?
well, not 600. Yeah, I forgot the overpricing of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah. It will come down from the overpricing.
Yeah.
I bet that happens. I don't know how long it stays down, but it should come down from that crazy price.
Yeah. I bet you we see it in the high 3, low 400s.
It's not going to be an Assassin's Creed. We'll put
No,
it that
no,
way. It'll
no.
be a Lord of the Rings style success, but
But even Lord
uh,
of the Rings, it dipped when it came out.
it did. It did. That's why but it also came back really fast and
Yes.
up pretty quickly. So I think that's probably the model we should expect from Final Fantasy. Similar.
Yeah, and the strength of the cards, because we do have that tidbit from Morrow about it
Yeah.
being the strongest set this year, or most powerful set. So that's going to shake things up for sure, which will cause demand for the cards. But we'll see.
I hate TCG players UI.
Yeah, they keep
They
making it worse
changed it. They
somehow.
changed it. The latest set thing, you click on it, it goes to that special page. You hit shop booster boxes for Tarkir. There's nothing in here but bundles. So the play box and the collector box are not listed in this page. So now you have to manually set all your filters to get it to work.
That's the worst.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm just trying to look at prices, people. Anyways.
I just use the search bar.
Yeah, well, except if you want a range of products to see side by side, you really can't.
You can click the top button where it has Tarkir, and then just click product type sealed.
When you say top button Tarkir, shop now, you mean the big
Yep.
banner?
Yep.
Yeah, that works for Tarkir, but I was looking at other sets.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was looking back to see about like the collector boxes for like Bloomborough and stuff because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one of the ones that didn't dip, right?
Yeah.
And OTJ and all that. Like I wanted to look and kind of because I said 5 of the last 8, and I was like, is that accurate? So I started to click through to see if I was right. But I
Bloomberg's,
couldn't
yeah.
get there. The
Bloomberg's at
data wasn't so good.
425.
Yeah, it's up. It's
Yeah.
been up the whole time. It never had
Yeah.
a dip. So
No.
that's one of those. Bloomberg is the last Tarkir, I think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like where it's just like a hit. It hits all the things: the theme, the commander functionality, the standard functionality. The bombs. Like I mean, today they're still impacting meta. So I do feel like Tarkir is the next Bloomburrow.
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll see in a few months.
Yeah. The last month is where it's hung out, but uh, it's not selling a ton of items at this 400.
No, no,
So
it's way past its hype date. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But it held up like it. I don't think it ever dipped below 300 for the collector box. I could be wrong, but if it did, it was like 280, and then it went back to 300 pretty quickly.
it was under 300 until December, January.
Is that when it was released? Because wasn't it released in December, January?
No. Um, August.
Oh wow,
Yeah, it came out in August. So August to January, it was under 400. So Tarkir's outperforming Bloomberg.
under 400.
Under
Okay.
300. Under 300.
Yeah, I was like, that's a
Sorry.
different number. Yeah,
No.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It was under 300 till December, January.
Well, maybe we do get that then.
I think Tarkir is going to be a $500 box by the end of the year.
No, it's a
No?
standard set, man.
I
No,
don't know.
you're trying to compare it to Lord of the Rings. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's a standard set. It will have its dip. It will have its doldrum.
Well,
It has to.
it'll be over 400 by the end of the year.
Yeah, because we have a lot of the year left.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that's realistic. Like by the end of the year, but I think like we'll have a summer doldrum where it kind of plateaus out and dips down
Yeah.
because
All of
it's
these.
a standard set. It's a good standard set, just like Bloomburrow, but it's
Yeah.
a standard set. You know.
Yeah. All of these sets find their place and then just kind of sideways.
Mhm. Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
That's normal for the plateau, especially for standard sets. The premium sets they have a little variance, and sometimes just up and to the right is all they do. But the standard, I feel like they always kind of tap out after a minute.
Yeah. But what was interesting is remember, these are the 30 pack play boxes. It dipped to 103, which was like the TCG player sale on Friday. I think it was 104 was the big TCG player sale where it sold like a crap ton. And then now it's back up to 117. So does it stay around this 120 or does it fall back to the 100 or sub 100?
I think it falls back to 100. I doubt sub 100. The main reason I think that is because Rudy. puts a price floor,
Mm-hmm.
and he's selling them, a lot of them apparently. Like
Yeah,
he just sold more pallets of play boxes at 100 a box. So
I believe it.
so I have a feeling, assuming supply isn't like, assuming we don't hit one of those situations where, which we did with Boomborough, where they run out of play boxes for a month.
Mm-hmm. And
Like if
foundations.
so, yeah, we don't know. Okay, like if it ends up being they really are kind of limiting even play boxes, then that might keep it. It could be in the 120s here for it with fewer packs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which would
I
be
don't know.
crazy,
Yeah, it would be crazy. That would be weird.
especially with tariffs and stuff. But
Yeah,
we shall see. Um, Pokemon. You played the Violet.
I did. I
What do
got
you
it.
think?
I don't even remember why did I get that. We were talking about it
We were
and
talking about it,
something.
and you were like,
Hey,
"I'm gonna try it."
yeah, there's something you said about one of the games, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should give one of the more recent ones a try because my
Yeah,
main memory was the older ones.
yeah,
Um, it's fun. It's cute. It's not crazy. A little bit too much story and dialogue, if you ask me. But I'm sure that hits the right buttons for you because it probably has like throwback or nostalgia components to
yeah.
it.
I mean, they're all new
I just,
characters, but yeah.
yeah, I just don't understand any of the stuff they're talking about as far as like context of the world or
Oh,
what's
sure.
special about it. And so I'm just like, okay, shut up. Like, can we get through this so I can move on to actually doing the thing I want to be doing? Um, there is like the whole school component is a
Hmm.
little too kid kid like for me.
Yeah,
Which again,
yeah,
I think that's the nostalgia of people that played Pokemon as a kid. They're like, yay, I feel like a kid again. For me, I'm like, I don't need child content.
yeah. The school stuff is all optional.
No, it's not. You have to go to the university. That's the first fucking
I
mission.
know, but like all the classes and stuff
Oh, I haven't
afterwards.
even
Yeah,
done any of that. I'm
yeah.
I'm in there and they're like, you can go to
There's a
different
whole
parts.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it's
staying
a
out of that.
Japanese RPG. There are a lot of little side things.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to get out in the world and go kill the trainers.
Oh yeah,
That's the
yeah,
main thing that I'm like, oh yeah, what was it? The mastery thing she said? The lady that's helping you?
yeah. You have to beat all the badges and
Yeah.
uh, defeat Team Star. No, was that? I think
Yeah,
that
Team
was
Star is
Team
there.
Star.
They
Yeah,
seem like the bad guys because they
they're
were
the Team
bullying some
Rocket of
kid.
this world.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they were
what's kind of
bullying some
cool is the story's different in the world and the characters are different in each Pokemon game, kind of like Final Fantasy,
kid.
but that follows the same kind of not story, but you have the same tasks, but they're different. Uh, and you shoot, it's really just like it's in a different world, but it's very similar gameplay. And then, but with Scarlet and Violet, they added the mount, which is your legendary Pokemon that you ride on, and then so you can get around the world a lot faster. And eventually, by the end of the game, your mount can climb up walls and fly. So,
That explains so much. There's so
mm-hmm,
many places I was like, there's something up there, but I can't figure out how to get there.
mm-hmm, yeah. So
Kind of
they made
explains.
traversing the world a lot easier and simpler, which is great. Um, and I'm very excited for ZA. But I've been playing the DLC, which is nice because I finished Scarlet and came back to it and wanted to play more and noticed that the DLC had come out. And it's basically you get to keep everything obviously, but what you did in the on the past island is kind of irrelevant at this point. So you're basically an exchange student and you go and do a study abroad at this other island.
So it's like, do you start over? Or do you have all your
You have all
Pokemon?
your Pokemon
Okay,
and they're
that's
all
cool.
and then the island is all at higher level and then you meet a new cast of characters and uh, the new legendary Pokemon and uh, a lot more story. It's very story heavy in the DLC, but very lovable characters. And I don't know. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Like the actual story, which I'm impressed because I love the Pokemon games, but I don't really care about the story. But this
Hmm,
DLC is the first time that I'm just like, oh, I actually care about this character,
that's cool.
which is pretty interesting. And it takes a lot for me in Pokemon. That's not the original uh, Red Blue. characters that I don't know. It's been interesting. It's been fun, and it's just a nice wind down. I typically play before going to bed.
Yeah, I found myself similar. Like as I'm winding down the day, I'm like, okay, let me play something that's a little mindless, a little
Mhm.
easy, a little relaxing. Like that's my go-to for that for the wind down period
And it
typically.
keeps me from doom scrolling, like just scrolling
Yep,
on Reddit or
that's what
scrolling on the
I'm doing.
news.
That's why I'm
Yep,
doing it.
yep, yeah, yeah. No, and so it has that fix, right? So you're using
Yeah,
something with your hands, you're
yeah,
focusing on
yeah,
something, but there's literally no distractions. Well, there's
yeah.
distractions and things to do, but not
In the game,
in the
like
game.
the
Yeah.
fun distractions, like oh, what's that Pokemon? Let me go get that.
Ooh, there's a glistening thing over here. Let me go see what
Yeah,
item that is. Yeah.
yeah, what's that? Do you? So I captured the injured robot jet Pokemon on the beach,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Captured. They give you the ball.
Yeah.
It's like its special ball. Do you actually get to use that thing? Like it's in my inventory as like a Pokemon at the bottom of the Pokemon list, but I don't know. Like, can you use it?
I don't remember.
No. Okay. All right. Well, I'll figure it out.
I don't remember
Maybe.
that. I played it when it came out, so it was a while ago.
All right, so I have to take us back for a second.
Yeah.
I finally found Bloomberg's chart, and you were basically wrong. Just
I
saying.
was?
Yeah, if you go and look at it, I did the 1 year chart. You see the big volume spike. That's the pre-sale,
Yeah.
right? And then you see that one bar that sticks up at the end of the pre-sale. It's like September,
September
August.
9th to
Yeah,
to the
that's release
15th.
date.
That's release
You
date.
s- you see have a dip afterwards, which is typical. You have
Yeah.
that little tiny dip, and
Yeah.
then it's just up and to the right from there.
Yeah.
And every time it dips, there's a spike in volume. So that next
Yeah.
one in like December, it dipped like $5 and there's a massive spike in
Yeah.
volume and it bought out. So it's just up and to the right from release basically.
Oh yeah, I didn't say it wasn't.
You said it well, okay, you said it was under 300 for some lengthy period, making it sound like it
Until
had
December.
come down or whatever.
No,
It
no, no,
just
no.
was under
Like it's
300 because it started at 200.
right, right.
It
It's
went from 200 all the way to 400 in almost a straight to the right line.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so there wasn't even that much of a plateau. I was thinking
No,
there'd be a big
no. I
plateau.
didn't mean to say that there was.
Got it. Got it.
Um,
I just misunderstood what you said.
yeah, it was just
So anyways,
under 300 until that point,
yeah, it just
which
happened.
with
Yeah,
Tarkir coming out at this point
at
and being
300.
also a standard set.
Yeah, well, remember this was the beginning of the new kind of
Right.
print
Oh,
runs.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so people weren't quite used to it. So now people are front running it on Tarkir,
Yes.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you are right. Maybe there is a $500 box by the end of the year sort of thing.
I'm
I don't
thinking
know. You might be right. You might be right.
it's
You might be right.
between 4 and 5 for sure.
Yeah, yeah. You might be right.
Because it's just a scarcity thing at some point, right?
It is, and the hype amount around it,
Yeah.
right? And there are some big bombs in this one.
Yeah, across
Like,
multiple formats.
yeah, formats, yeah. So, yeah, you might be right. Anyways, sorry.
Yep. Real quick on Fab, there's swimsuits now.
No, no, I don't want it. I don't like it. No,
It happened.
it's terrible. Why did they do this?
It's to be fair, it is for a Singapore event. So a Singapore World Tour in July.
Oh, so these are special cards. This isn't a whole set.
No, this is
Ah.
for Pro Tour players. One hero at random.
I reverse my statement then. I don't. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, that's it's specialty cards and like a theme thing or trying to do like a fun party. Like that's fine. I thought it was a whole set where they're all like at the beach. I'm like, what the fuck did they do to my game? Flesh and Blood is not a bunch of kids at the beach, which is what it looked like from the art.
Yeah. It reminded me of Heroes of the Storm. I was a big Heroes of the Storm player when it came out, and they did a swimsuit edition with Stitches with an inflatable horse like Victor has, and it just made me laugh.
That's
but
pretty funny.
The other exciting news is Worlds is coming to Philly.
Ah, you gonna go? You gonna champion up?
Yeah, I'm not good at Flesh and Blood.
Oh, he's not doing it.
No, I don't know. My competitive days are not with me right now.
Yeah, I feel you.
I am in a very casual mode.
Yeah, because work and everything else is
Work and
so
life is beating me up. So
yeah, so heavy.
yeah,
You don't need to make heavy in your life when things are heavy.
exactly. There will be a time, and I will come back. To Fab, maybe not, but to competitiveness, like showing up weekly or weekly locals for something, probably. Maybe Pioneer. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll do that in paper. It's tempting, but
I
costs
don't know. I want something to go do weekly to get me out of the house again.
yeah, I get that. Especially
Working
since you
from
work
home.
from home.
Hmm.
Yeah, you need to have your
Yeah.
excursion.
And I have like one of the largest magic shops around within 15-minute drive from me. So
Mm, time to go draft. Do
time to go.
something.
Yeah, it's either going to be draft or Pioneer. I'll probably start with draft. And then if that gets too expensive, I will switch to Pioneer.
I guarantee draft is not too expensive. What it will be is too much bulk.
I have a way to offload that bulk.
Do you? Do you really?
Yeah, it
Bulk,
my bulk
bulk
sells.
doesn't move. No, it
Some
doesn't. What
of
do you
it.
mean? Yeah,
Fab
some
bulk
of it.
moves.
Compared to how much you have, though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
If you're drafting on any regular basis, even like once a month, I'm pretty sure you'll walk away with more bulk cards than you sell.
Oh, sure, sure.
You'll be in a net positive growth rate for your bulk,
Yeah,
which is not what you want.
I'm still over 36,000 cards in
It's
inventory,
crazy. It's so
and I'm not
many.
done uploading.
I know. I know. Yeah, I don't have all my bulk up. I have a lot of stuff up, but I have boxes and boxes and boxes of bulk that I've never really spent the time to dig through in depth. Like I did the like find the anything over like whatever 50
Yeah,
cent
yeah,
dig, but since then I haven't, and I'm not like I could put them all up for 25 cents, but and some of them would sell, I'm sure, because it
they
does.
do.
Like when you hit a deck or whatever, people do buy the higher price bulk.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't want to go through all that effort.
It's a lot of effort, and it's mainly just whenever I don't have brain power for things.
I don't even keep the shop on except the weekends.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well, I
too
have
many
my
too
post
many orders.
office is literally down the street, so I can just
Mine's
stop
too.
over
It's just
before
I don't
work.
have the time to do all the orders.
Oh, that's
Like I
fair.
was getting too many.
That's fair.
On the weekends I have enough time that I can get it done. Just because my work's insane right now.
Right.
Once that calms down again, then I might do it again. But
Yeah. I'm also down to like maybe 5 orders a day or something, so it's not crazy.
okay, yeah. Every time I turn it on, I seem to have 10 orders within a day or so, maybe 2 days, and I just don't look at it. So it might feel like a lot just because I leave it up. Orders come in, and then I'm like, okay, it's been a couple days. How many orders do I have? Like they yell at me if I don't
Yeah.
process them after 48 hours. I guess it is.
Plus the yeah, but plus the when you turn it off and on, there's a lot more time for price swings. So
I reset prices when I turn it on
oh, okay.
every time,
Okay.
except for the 25 cent cards. But
Yeah.
basically, I go in everything over. I think everything over $10. So any of the price swings on those, like it was 25 cents, but now it's 73 cents. That sort of stuff. Yeah, I might get caught up in. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Um, but anything over like $10 or $5, whatever it is, I have a filter that I just click and it's pre-filled. So um, anything over that rate, it just I go through again and click the matched price.
Yeah.
It's funny how often it pops it up, but
Yeah.
sometimes it pops it down to some of the big expensive cards like that Elspeth I sold. Elspeth what no, not no, that
Elish
was the
Norn.
Grand yeah, Elish Norn, that's what it was. The Grand Cenobite Super
Mm-hmm.
Art one that I sold the other week. Like that one drifted up and down at multiple times. Every time I did that filter change, I always kept an eye on it. That's why I was so excited when it sold because I watched it. I was like, oh, is it going to drift down to nothing? And it started to go back up. I was like, oh, it's going up again. And then it sold, and I was like, fuck yeah, because it was an expensive card. And I was like, I'm never going to sell this.
Yeah.
I almost sold it to the shop for like, I think because the guy was worried about the risk. He's like, this is such a special card. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to spend what it's worth
Yeah.
on it. So
Yeah.
he's like, I'll give you like 200 for it. I ended up selling it for like 530 or something. I don't know. I
Nice.
sent you the picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was quite a bit more than I would have gotten in the shop, and that was not a guarantee. That was the thing. I was like, nah, I don't want to take that much of a discount on it, even though it's like cash in hand.
Right.
And I was like, I knew I was taking a risk by saying no. I was
Yeah.
like, this may end up selling for 200 because no one actually wants this thing, and it just doesn't move. And it's been months, and it
Yeah.
finally sold. So I was very excited. That one worked out. That gamble worked out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, economics.
Unfortunately.
Yep, it's bad, guys. It's bad.
Is it?
Chaos causes harm
The numbers go
for
up though. The
for
numbers
a
went up.
globally dominant player. And no, if you set your chart to from
No, I
January,
know.
the numbers
I know.
numbers have not gone up; they've gone down. Yes, we had
It has
I
been
think
since last week.
two good days last week out
Yeah.
of the rest of it,
Yeah.
something like that. Whatever it was, we had a bad market reaction to the tariffs. We
Mm-hmm.
had insider trading right before the tariff pause, which then led to the spike.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the president in the Oval Office bragging about how Charles Schwab, a person, not just a bank, because he's an idiot and didn't realize he was a person, made $2 billion that day
Mm-hmm.
because of insider trading. He didn't say that part out loud, but it was definitely implied.
Mm-hmm.
So fun. So markets don't like that. International partners don't like that.
No.
And China put 5 billion X tariffs on us after we put 4 billion X tariffs on them, whatever the hell the numbers are these days. I can't even keep up because
No.
it's like every day they're flipping back and forth. Um, and I think they came out and made a big like international statement like we're done with this tit for tat game. It's silly. It's stupid. Like we're at the point where basically trade is not happening between the US and China,
Mm-hmm.
which by the way, everything is made in China that we use. So this
Mm-hmm.
is about to make our lives very difficult. Um, and even the stuff that's made here has parts that are made in China. So again, going to be very difficult. Or the factory parts are made in China, or whatever.
Yep.
Um, and so, as part of that announcement, they announced new dialogues with the Asian nations. There's like a trade group called, I think they pronounce it Asian, but it's ASEAN. So that's like the Asian Pacific kind of region. I don't know the exact areas, but it's that whole area.
Yep.
Europe itself, Brussels in particular, which is one of the bigger trade partners there, and then the Gulf states. So they are basically all the places we used to have dominant trade agreements. China's coming in as the good guy because we're the ones causing chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, hey, we're the adult in the room. Let's make a deal. Let's sort this out. We're not going to throw tantrums. We're not going to try to bully you. We're going to come to a reasonable agreement. And they look like the heroes, exactly as predicted. And it's going to harm us, even if we gave up on all this nonsense, which I don't think Trump will. It's going to harm us. And you look at the disruption COVID cost to logistics and supply chains, right? All the inflation, all
Yep.
that stuff. We're doing it to ourselves. And last time we did a bunch of stimulus to help the regular people of America deal with that pain. And I know people will say, "Oh, but that's what caused the inflation." It's not necessarily what caused the inflation. We've gone through this
Yeah.
in other podcasts,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to get into it. But um, there was aid there, right? Because there was a global pandemic. There was people trying to soften the blow to the American public, and that is not going to happen this time because that would be admitting that Trump caused harm. Like he did this, he
Mm-hmm.
made this happen, and he's not going to admit that he caused these problems in a way that he's going to actually do something to help us. Um, I think there may be a few examples where he will, such as the farmers. Like last time he did tariffs in his first term, it hurt. I think it was the soybean farmers or something like that, like very, very dramatically. And so he did release like a bunch of billions of dollars to the farmers to basically supplement the fact that they had lost their entire market in China. Um, Now that works on a temporary basis, but I don't think you can do that across the entire economy, and the entire economy is going to be affected by this.
Yeah.
So that's where that is. Loads of fun. Stock market's up for the week last week, I think, but the month overall is bad. I will say, um, looking at crypto as a highly volatile asset, but also an international basket of currencies, not just US, it is holding up. I think it was a month ago I was talking about there's a certain level where if it goes below that like sustainably, like over a week below that, then I'll feel like the market's done for crypto and it's on the way down into the next bear. It has not gone to that level. It kind of bounced right off of it. It was the previous highs if you look at the chart.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, it still has this upward potential. I'm not sure how this plays out in a weirdly decoupled U.S. market. It's the first time crypto's ever seen something like this. First
Yeah.
time most of the
Yeah.
world has in 100 years. So,
Yeah.
so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's an interesting time in general markets. The next one, yeah, I'm curious what your way in it is. The bond market has had some crazy shudders, real earthquakes. One of the things that was expected from this, and I think was the economic advisor's kind of point with Trump, was if you cause this kind of chaos, typically the Fed will have to react and lower rates because there'll be, harm to the markets, harm to this, that, right? They'll be pressured. Unfortunately, at the same time as all this started, Canada said, screw you, and started selling on a very regular basis all of their bonds, American
Mm-hmm.
bonds. And that caused a depreciation in the value and an increase in the rate because you have to have a higher rate to get people to buy because people are selling faster than buying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the rates went up, causing havoc in everything. Housing market, I think I sent you something that's like 7.1%, like
Yeah.
jumped. Yeah, it's for mortgage. You said you heard about this at work. Talk about that.
Yeah. So basically, in the mortgage world, uh, brokers and stuff like that were saying that we were going to be entering a great refi boom, and that was going to be a great source of income for them, was to be able to reach out to their clients now that rates are lower and be able to refinance them, because then that creates a new loan and another payment for them, and also works out. I mean, it's not nefarious. Like, the homeowner ends up with a better rate, right? And so they end up saving money. So it's a win-win for both the broker and the homeowner. But then the homeowner also has to have cash to be able to throw at the loan to make a new loan to refinance it um, at the new rate and lock in the new fixed. But when it's back up to 7.1, that decreases the amount of people that, uh, well, it almost erases the group of people that
Would do such a
would do
thing.
such a thing, because there's still I forget what it's at now, so I don't want to quote it, but
Yeah, I
the
saw
amount of people that
7.1
are
last week, but I
no
don't know
that
what that
yes
was. The
yeah
base rate, the,
that's
whatever.
the
Yeah.
30-year fixed.
Okay. Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, and so, which is like the most popular,
Mhm.
um but it because most people, there's not a non-significant amount of people have our rates below 4 still,
Mhm.
so they're just off the market for refinance.
Yeah, of course. And they were hoping you'd hit that below 4 rate so that all the people that were above it would come and refinance down because they were
People
convinced
were
that Trump's brilliant 5D chess was going to work out that way.
not even that. People were hoping for fives and
Jesus.
high fours.
Yeah.
So that, because they know no one is saying that we're going to go back to that. No one is saying that.
Well, that's okay. That's good. They're saying on that front.
Yeah. They're saying it's basically all the people in the high sixes and mid sixes to refinance down to high
Like
four
fives,
or
fours. Yeah.
five. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not even that huge of a margin, but what that percentage, if people are, and the people are only about a year or two into their mortgage, then it makes sense, because that's still a long time left at that new rate.
Mm.
So that's a significant amount of money saved for the homeowner. So it all makes sense, and that's basically what a lot of our content was around, was trying to figure out how to help these people, and to push, or to basically tell people to focus on looking at the refinance market. And but with rates at 7.1, that no longer matters. And
Yep.
it's to the point where, like, we're making content just a week before it actually, like, comes out as a video or something.
Hmm.
And
And
it's,
you had to pull content or
yeah,
something.
exactly, because it
Yeah.
just doesn't,
Madness.
it how much has changed in a week.
Yeah. Yeah. So my tagline on this in our little podcast thing, just for the audience, is bond market VIX, which VIX is volatility
Mm-hmm.
index, and that's the thing, the volatility. It's not just that it hit 7.1; it's the fact that it went from like, oh yeah, it's coming down to, oh my god, it's higher than it's ever been
Mm-hmm.
within days. It's just
Mm-hmm.
us all over the place, and I don't see core markets reflecting a positive change anytime soon, even with the Fed. Like if the Fed pulls some emergency actions or whatever, I think we're getting very close to what's called the Liz Truss moment, and that's an infamous moment economically where UK couldn't sell bonds. People stopped buying them because they stopped trusting them. This was around Brexit. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
leadership had isolated the country from its global trade partners, and everyone stopped trusting it.
Yep.
And we're starting to see the same thing happen here. And the results are very predictable. It's very bad for the US. We have had this economic structure and situation since World War II, and people don't realize, they forgot how much of an advantage that power and that basis of, exceptionalism was. I think most people thought it was just because America's cool. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize it's because America had dominant trade influence and had set itself up to make the most out of this. Now, granted, I admit I understand where the upset comes. Common people have been suffering under this regime structure, i.e., more has been taken away from them than they have gained. The billionaires have gained much, much more than the common people. But the common people's life was affordable enough because of these deals, and we just blew it up. And it's not the billionaires who are going to suffer. So yeah, it does need to change, but having the billionaires be the ones that make the change was, in my mind, a huge mistake for most people.
Yeah.
Um, it's gonna cause a lot of pain.
And I mean, think
So
about everyone with an adjustable rate mortgage too, right? Like they're going to be paying more.
yeah, yeah,
And those are the people that didn't have enough to get into the house, so they probably can't afford the higher rates.
yeah. Well, we already saw last week like the default rates like
Mm-hmm.
spiking. And
Yeah.
it's probably going to continue. I saw, was it? I think we talked about the car payment
Housing,
one,
cars, credit cards are at all time
credit cards. Yeah,
highs.
that was the other one.
The
Yeah,
amount of
and
ads,
to
I've been doing a bunch of driving. Uh,
refinance your credit card debt or whatever.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And IRS tax trouble.
Oh yeah,
Both
yeah,
of those things are like, I hear an ad multiple times on a drive.
yep. We're entering a rough time, and all the leading indicators are there, such as these defaults on things. The lagging indicators will be the job losses and stock market crashes. Trump, with his announcements and Twitter storm and whatever, can manipulate the market here and there, but not over the long term.
No.
Uh,
No.
so it's
These are all
gonna,
short term things.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, yes, last week was a
Yes.
good week,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
Zoom out.
That was the sarcastic, but what
Yeah,
about?
yeah. Zoom out. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
climate change isn't real because it's cold here. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, that's not what climate is.
It's cold in April,
Yeah, right.
which
Oh,
I'm not
guys.
happy about, but
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, actually, I am happy. My area has a lot of mosquitoes, so the more cold snaps we have later in the season, the
yeah,
less mosquitoes there are. So
that's
I'm
true.
happy
That's
with
true.
that personally.
Same. Same. And
Uh,
if you've
yeah, I was
stuck
gonna say,
around
go ahead.
this long, the true financial asset that you need to invest in is stamps.
Stamps. It's a guarantee win.
It's a guarantee win.
Nothing's
Stamps to the
guaranteed. Do
moon.
not. This is not financial advice.
No, no. But stamps are going up again. So if you do run a TCG player store or use a lot of stamps, maybe buy a couple rolls
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just
It's
stock up
funny
on
you
it for a bit.
said that, and I was like, oh, how many do I have left? Because the last time it happened, I did stock up,
Mm-hmm.
and so I still have them from the last time it went up.
Good.
So I'm good. Yeah, but I'm coming close to the end. I think I only have 2 rolls left. So.
Yeah. I buy it a roll at a time.
Oh yeah, I don't remember why, but you know what it was? I think it was before December, so it was a expense to get in for the business
Yeah.
taxes
That makes
before the
sense.
end of the year. So I was just like, buy a bunch because stamps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll use them even if I don't have the shop. Like
Yeah. I think it's going up to like 80 something.
78, I think, from
78
73.
from 73. So yeah, another 5 cents. So that's $5 a roll.
Yep, it's
So
crazy.
yeah. Yeah. And TCD Player just did that bump from 127 to 131 on the pricing. So it'll be interesting to see if they do that again.
It took 3 or 4
It
shipping
took a
bumps
while.
before they
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't expect it from this one,
Yeah.
but if we get another one, which I suspect we will in the next year or so,
Yeah.
they'll probably have to do it again, adjust again. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Which
all
I'm
those
glad they're
card
at least
sleeves
aware of
and
that.
stuff, all made in China.
Mhm. Well, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I didn't even think
Mm-hmm.
about the supply
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
So that's why I was just like, it may not make sense to sell bulk. So that's why I'm just trying to get as much out as possible.
That's fair. I'm I am stocked up on that supply stuff because when I was in the heyday of this, I was running so much volume that I was just like, I need to get all this stuff in massive amounts of bulk.
Mm-hmm.
So like the sleeves, the penny sleeves, all that stuff, I have like literally thousands of.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
maybe I can sell them for a profit now. I'm like, wait, this might actually be a good opportunity.
Don't buy sealed product, buy sealed penny
I,
sleeves.
I literally have cases of the what are the baseball card, the top loaders?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have cases of them. I like when I
I
looked, I
switched
was
to
in my
card
basement.
savers.
I was in my basement and I was looking around. I was like, holy shit! Like I bought a case when I already had a case, I think. And I have my drawer, like my supply drawer up
Yeah.
here where the shop is, and it's full.
Yeah.
Like that will
Yeah.
be full for probably a year with the amount I have in there.
Yeah.
I just every time I run out, I go grab one from there, and then if that runs out, I'll go down to the basement to find some. And like I said, the last time I was down looking at inventory stuff, I was like, holy crap, I have cases of this stuff. So maybe I'll be able to sell some of that at a premium now that China's off the market for us.
Here you go. Maybe open an
God,
Amazon store.
God. Yeah, I have one of those. And an eBay store, which is
Yeah.
actually one of the places I've seen them sold. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
oh boy, fun times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Will be interesting.
Yeah,
Well, anything else before we call this a podcast?
that's all I got.
All right. Well, if the world's still spinning next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.